All right. So what you're about to see right here is trunk stability. And why are we going into the trunk? The trunk is the abdominal region. And what you have to understand about this is these guys have been trained to violently attack the body. We know how to attack and touch every organ in the body. We also have been trained to develop and devour every tissue surrounding those organs, the feather rib. So they have to develop their abdominal region. So here we go. Stability training. The first thing you see right here, typically you would consider these push-ups, but this is not for arms. This is to develop the trunk. So here you'll see a few seconds of when they push up, they exhale out. They have to be able to feel it in their pubic areas, right? What that does is allow them to feel the dexterity of the trunk. It's bringing the abdominal region tight, the muscles. So whenever they get hit, there's a very solid, dense mass that people are actually feeling instead of them being penetrated. Because, like I said, you can see some of the videos that you'll see further into this training that we attack the body a different kind of way. Everyone thinks they know how to hit the body. We truly are precisionists and understand exactly how to transfer weight and penetrate the body. The number two exercise is the mobile trunk development, the hurricanes. This is a vertical action going high and then dropping down low. So check this out. Now you have to be able to master going down and coming back up and exploding with the trunk intact. That means basically you are not letting the contraction go. You're knowing how to breathe, when to breathe. So when you're moving around the ring and you're actually in the midst of battle, you're totally contracted at all times. There's a technique that you have to learn. This technique is more of a it's kind of 8 layers to this technique. Most fighters aren't even conscious of it. But what we want to do is show you guys there's a higher level of education. And this one is focusing on the low trunk development, transverse plunges. So check this out. As the athletes are going down and you're contracting from the lower half, you may see this as squats. That's not what we're doing. This is all about trunk development. It's pulling through the interior muscle group behind the first layer of the stomach. And what does this actually do? Well, when you're mobile inside of the ring, it's creating that explosiveness from the lower trunk. When you're throwing those shots, as you can see, I did a little step back and jab. And when I did that, if someone was to go low and jab me to the belly, my stomach is in total tact. It won't affect me the same way as if I did not do these training drills. And this is a circuit. So now you're going to go into the interval oblique reverse, development, which is the crossover crunch. The thing is, most people just go elbow to knee. We go from elbow to up, then knee. So as you can see, George, the wild prince, he's rising, pulling, and contracting. And what that's doing is it's bringing the body, the abdominals are all starting to crunch and work together, but those are the internal obliques. That's for those solar plex shots. When we are doing what we call the knife, where we stab you, wow, up close, 4-inch punch. If you are in camp with these guys and you don't understand that, there's a very good chance that you will be really dominated physically. It happened all the time because guys didn't understand the trunk. and all the layers that go behind it. The next thing that we're going to show you is a demonstration of the interval reverse development, the interval trunk development. So this is push upwards, and this will help you create dexterity from where we call the psoas muscle group, which is behind the abdominal region layer in front of the back. So it's the deepest part of the core. I mean, the abdominal region. And when you are using these techniques, uh, trust me, you'll feel them. Push up, elbows down. These will push you to a limit because they also fatigue the body, but you have to concentrate. When you're doing this directly on the abdominals only, you'll feel the rest of the body fatigue, but it's almost like mind over matter. You become that conscious of what's actually happening, and that will help you develop the mindset of a purist, the pure pugilist boxer who understands his physiology, his anatomy is his first focus every single day, knowing how to be mindful. The next thing we're going to show you is the mid torso, the trunk crunch. This will create unity inside of the abdominal region from the lower half to the upper half. Three tiers, one, two, three, and four. One, two, down and down. And you'll need this when you start to learn the techniques that we teach you on how to rake the body. And remember, be mindful that in this camp, we've got techniques and secrets from the Floyd Mayweather camp of how they actually did it. Why? Because Chop Chop Corley came into our training program and went through the entire circuit that they did. Now, it's all about adding value. When you understand how to attack the body in ways at the highest level, you have to get so gritty. You have to become cagey. And so these techniques are not techniques and skills or skill sets. These all ramp up in the aura of cagey, which is real tenacity with your fight. You're not boxing anymore. You know things above the level of skill. It's the highest level of combat other than the mental side, which is humility. And so it's not what you do, it's the way you're able to do it. Caginess allows you to overcome everything when you start getting hit with club punches. And so this is uh, the exterior crunch. You're focusing on the external oblique. And this is when you start taking those shovel punches and those shovel hooks to the body on the outside. And then there are a array of our medicine ball teachings that we show, but as you can see, it's only focused on the outside, and each one of these guys have been hit by the other, and they understand how important it is to not miss a beat. These shots can take you totally out. Now listen.
Important that you reach down and exhale all the air out of the sac of the midsection when you're doing the trunk. Very good. Now you
Making sure that you exhale, you have to learn to breathe out from the gut. The psoas muscles are the extraction of moving air out of your body, so the density of your body elevates. You know, there's a difference between a bag of sand and a boulder. You can take you can take someone hitting you with a bag of sand. You can't take someone hitting you with a boulder. That's the difference in the dexterity of the body. So I hope you guys are really taking note that this isn't just going down and doing abs. You're in the ring working against elite body attackers. We have an entire system on raking and ripping the body for guys who have never been in the ring and understand what it takes to circumvent this type of punishment. it doesn't last too long because your legs and your body just can't take it. So you have to take these serious. Now you have to stretch through the region with this circuit here. And the biggest thing is learning why this is uber important. Um, as I move through, I want you all to understand this right here is our angel circuit. And what you'll learn from this is how to develop the rear torso, the lumbar region. The lumbar region is just stability cable. And that cable is what holds you together when you're in a battle of any sort, when you're picking anything up over your head, when you're swinging anything. It's your power line. So that's your lumbar region. So now you're about to develop it. So this is lower lumbar development, the angel circuit. You'll see this in 3 phases. Stay with me. Lower legs go out and in, out and in, out and in, moving no other part of the body, out and in, out and in. Now you're going to work the upper region. Same thing, angel circuit number 2. This is the lumbar development. Check this out. You're going to bring the arms up and back. Raise them off the ground and back, and come up like a dolphin. Speaking of the dolphins, bang, just like that. And now you're developing the upper trunk of the lumbar. We had to master this because you have to fight guys in training camp. You have to spar guys much larger. So your lumbar has to be excessively strong. And now you're gonna go for the total angel, full angel, entire lumbar region, top and bottom, contracting, exhaling, and strengthening that psoas, internal oblique, external oblique, rectus abdominis, which is right down the middle. Boom. Let's check it out. See what it looks like when you pull it together. Like I said, people, you're in high level boxing, and preparation for these things must be taken serious, because if these things aren't being administered and understanding why you're doing them, then you'll definitely find yourself coming up short when you're fighting against elite athletes and you don't understand why they are elite, because it looks like you're doing the same type stuff. They understand the why and the how. There you go. So this is a purity focus on knowing how to do these things. These intervals can range from as short or as quick as 40 seconds. They can go as high as 75 seconds to 90 seconds per circuit, depending on what phase of camp you're in. Now, remember, there are twitches of muscle. So don't think because you're going longer that it's harder. Right? Remember that, because you're dealing with a different twitch muscle. So the movement is different. The movement is slower. So don't think because it's longer that it's more painful. Just learn, and this stuff will start to land with you exponentially. But you got to get educated, or you'll become a victim of one of these situations. The trunk flexion. The trunk flexion is this press and extend it all the way from the bottom to the top, and staying in contraction throughout this duration, up and down. And like I said, it looks like toe touches, but they're exhaling from the pit of the stomach. This lava breathing, it's a gurgle when it's coming out from the pit of the stomach. I say this over and over again. And now we got to focus on the abduction strengthening. This is what supports the trunk. This is directly up under the trunk. And you must understand balance throughout the abdominal region and stabilization inside of the hip circuit. So this all plays a role because we know how to hit you to the hip, right above that hip line. And you have to make sure that they are stretched and flexed. And this is tier 1 of one of the trunk total trunk development programs. And so, with that being said,
All right.
it's important that
Today
we
it is
take into consideration uh, how to become a master at this part of it. Like these exercises go down with the time that we have to prep for our sparring, and you wonder, all right, what's the difference when someone like Sean Porter go into camp opposed to a guy that's on the come up? Like a couple of years ago, Shakur Stevens and those guys, they weren't this versed. It's when you start getting experts in your corner or someone who's from a deep boxing lineage who understands that you just can't do sit-ups. You can't just do push-ups. You just can't do pull-ups and think that you're at the at the level of preparation that you would be if you're fighting against the world's greatest fighters who are from the camps of Angelo Dundee, people who understand the physiology, Emmanuel Stewart. Like when you mess around with Archie Moore, like when you mess around with the gods, you better realize that you're about to face something. Eddie Futch, man, there are different. Like I said, there are only three heads on Mount Rushmore of teachers, right? Like a lot of other good teachers, but the understanding of the entire savage package of it is insurmountable, and it does take education. So I hope you guys are staying with me and enjoying what it really takes to get into the ring and spar. So the next circuit, what you're going to learn and hear are how exactly do you take what you're doing and start to implement your next phase. So I'm going to let you guys see where we're going with this next phase. It's going to teach you exactly how to deal with situations in boxing. Let's take a deep dive into situational boxing here, right now, in the art of sparring 2.0. Let's work.